It is Sharp Thursday. We got UFC, we got CFL, and Dave Mason is going to join us from BetOnline to tell us where the sharp money is landing. And Gianni, as per requested by you guys, is why it's important to participate in the comment section in the live chat. We're going to go over some MLB win totals for the second half. So we got a packed show, and believe it or not, if you didn't watch yesterday's show, we had a thing going with the 2025 Korean Snail Racing Championships. You guys submitted a bunch of names, potential names for the Snails, and you guys knocked it out of the park. And we have an update on the championship here at the end of the show. So buckle up for that one. It's going to be a great show. You guys know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I don't know if we've made it to 210,000, but we're like within just a teeny little bit. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. No better reason than to get notified when these videos get released. So we're ready for football season, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Join the WagerTalk family. Let's get into it. Let's bring on Gianni the Greek. Gianni, maybe the slowest sports betting day, but is there any steam on anything that you found this morning?
Oh, yeah. I'm coming off a nice 7-1 night, so I'm finding action every single day. I'm loving this break. It's got me in the top number one in last 7 days, and adding profit to 2025. So I'm loving it. As far as matchups today, nothing really going on. Did see some money on Montreal in the CFL, but that was like at 8.5 when that line first opened. Nothing really in the accounts. But what I did manage to fire on were the second halves. I got a bunch of second halves. In fact, I ended up getting 9 second half season win totals and 8 division and playoff futures. I put a package together with the ones that aligned with the guy that I whose season win totals I trust most in baseball, and 6 of them matched up with the steam that I got to move for these groups, and 3 of the even playoff futures matched up. So real quickly, let me tell you the ones that I didn't release to subscribers, but I did bet for these guys. Season win total. They went under 91.5 in the Yankees. They went over 80.5 in Minnesota, and they went over 86.5 in Seattle. Now, based on my other sources, season win totals for baseball, all 3 of those do give you about a 1.5 to 2 game edge based on what his projections are, meaning that going under 91.5 in the Yankees, he's got it around 89.5, close to 90. So all 3 of those match up with what my guy has as well. They're just not as big of an edge. As in like Detroit. I'll give that out right now. I sent out a 4% to my subscribers on under in Detroit at 96.5 season wins, because he's got him at about 93. So that gives us about a 3.5 game cushion. And that's what I went for. Anything with 3 or greater game cushion, I released to subscribers. There were 5 of those that were 3 games or better in our favor. And then the one, which was 5+ games difference, and it made perfect sense. I actually released a 5% on one of these season win totals. Like I haven't seen this kind of edge in a season win probably in like 2 seasons, where one team just outperformed or underperformed this significantly at the half. So those already have been sent out to subscribers. Again, under in the Yankees, over Minnesota, over Seattle. If you agree with those, I do have action on those. Like I said, I moved them for the group that I work with, but I didn't release those 3 to subscribers because, again, I isolated the strongest edges. Now, futures to win the division, I only released 1 of those. The other 2 that I did move for these guys are dogs. They took Toronto to win the American League East, and they actually, the guy that I work with, he actually has Toronto 1 game above. So he has Toronto winning that division as well, and he has them finishing a game above right now. So he has Toronto winning 90 games, and he's got the Yankees winning 89.3 games. So he actually has Toronto above the Yankees, and at plus 150, I think that offers value. And then he also has Seattle Seattle at plus 300. My guy has them projected to win 88 games, and he has Houston winning 90 games. So he doesn't have Seattle winning a division, but he has Seattle within 2 games of Houston. So a lot can happen there. And at plus 300, you got to win that 1 out of 3 times, 1 out of 4 times to break even. So I thought it made sense. I moved that as well, but didn't release that to subscribers. I just isolated one of the heavier chalky ones. Now, whether they're going to make the playoffs or not, subscribers, you got 3 plays, 2 yeses and a no. The ones that didn't make it to subscribers, but I still bet, we bet San Francisco Giants to not make the playoffs at minus 115. We bet San Diego Padres, yes, to make the playoffs at plus 115. So San Diego's was right there, 50-50. At plus 115, you got to take it. And San Francisco was actually like 55% or greater that they wouldn't, close to 60% that they wouldn't, according to my guy. And then I gave out 3 to subscribers. I'll give you one free right now. Obviously, this one's chalky. I'll give you the dog. That Boston plus 115. Boston plus 115 makes the playoffs. Again, bro, Sean, listen, brother, it's not me giving up on the Twins. I just moved the stuff. So again,
you're fine.
You're
fine, Gianni. You're good.
I don't choose them, bro. Again, I just line them up. The betting syndicate comes in. They bet over 80.5 on Minnesota. I look at my guy's numbers. He's got him in Minnesota winning 82.5 games, close to 83. So I release it. Again, I have so many futures. When the dust settles, hopefully we're up. I know I've done very well with those historically. But yeah, I'm going to isolate 1 or 2 teams and just talk about them. It's spread out. That's how we do it. We spread out our risk. 6 season win totals in the second half, 3 yes or no's to make the playoffs, and 1 team to win the division. So 9 futures went out today, and you have till tomorrow when baseball returns to get down. I know a lot don't like tying up their cash, especially if they're not working with credit accounts like I am. I know you don't want to tie up that cash, but rest assured, the edges are so great in these that I would tie it up. And when September 28th rolls around and baseball season comes to a close, that money's going to be useful during football. Like, it's going to pad your bank account to give you more, bullets to fire. And that's why I always like betting these baseball futures, because they cash right at that perfect time. When football's a month in, couldn't be better to get that injection into your cash.
A lot of people have to get over the tying up the money for futures. There's too much money to be made in futures. I mean, like, if you just turn a profit in the NFL just by betting futures, who cares how long the money is tied up? At the end of the season, it's profitable. I actually think a lot of people would do much better if they just focused on futures. Some of these in-season futures are just money. I mean, I know guys in the chat talked in the NFL about last year about the Saints, how they won their first 2 games, and then the books bumped them to like 10.5, and it was like, no way this team's winning 11 games. So if you're of the opinion, I don't like tying up money, I just think it's something you got to get that mental breakthrough and invest in the futures. There's a ton of them out there. I want to ask you about a couple of them, Gianni. They got the Dodgers lined right at 100, and they are floating at that magic number of 60%, 59.8%. I actually think they probably get there unless they decide to rest some guys towards the end. I mean, they didn't play their best ball. They're kind of, leading up. To me, that seems a little bit low, and I can't believe I'm saying that because I got to believe that's a really public play. What do you think about the Dodgers?
I love you guys so much, and we get so much support by the viewers. I'm going to give you another season win total. We did go under 100.5 in the Dodgers as a 4% play, and here's why. Hear me out, and I think it makes sense. They're expected to win the most, based on my guys' numbers. They're expected to win the most games in all of baseball. No team's expected to win more than them. They're expected to win the most in the NL by 5 games, by 2.5 games over the Cubs, 2.5, 3 games over the Cubs. So they should have the best record on all of baseball, best record in the NL. more importantly, in their division, my guy has them finishing about 11 games above second place San Diego, about 11 games. So if you add that and you factor in probably some rest towards the end, if they're really not playing for much, I think it makes sense. It's right at that cutoff of that 100 win. I get it. They want to get to that 100 wins, but I don't think they're going to do it to the detriment of being ready for the playoffs. I think that's the goal for the Dodgers. So if we get a little bit of rest, I think that under 100 is there.
That was my big worry, was like, oh, they're right there. And then, the last week, all of a sudden they're playing some other guys. Do you do anything with the really, really terrible teams? Like I see the Rockies are at 39.5. So any value in fading or supporting some of these really bad teams? Nationals are at 38 wins, White Sox at 32. Any value in those? I see the Rockies are at 39. What's your thoughts on these bad teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I gave 3 unders and 3 overs. The overs are all bad teams, all terrible teams. I'm expecting them to do better, to progress more towards their mean. I'll give you the one that sticks out, minus 110. We're going with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. They will finish last in that division, rest assured. They will finish last by about 10 games. So Cincinnati will be 10 games above them when they finish, but they're still projected to win close to 70 games. My man's got them at like 69.9, that they're right there to win 70 games. And we're able to get 66.5. So that was one of them, which gave me a 3-game plus cushion. I gave that out to subscribers on the over in Pittsburgh. So don't be scared to bet some of those teams that look that bad in the first half or that good. Fade those teams that look that good. Like the second half's a long season. There's a lot of games left to be played. Like nothing. The only thing that I can tell you is like at the 90% mark, here's 90% probability. Toronto makes the playoffs. Yankees make the playoffs. Detroit makes the playoffs. Houston makes the playoffs. Philadelphia makes the playoffs. Mets make the playoffs. Chicago Cubs make the playoffs. And Dodgers make the playoffs. Those are in that like close 90% and greater percentile. Everything else is up for grabs. Like everything else is still open season. Like these teams still need to figure it out amongst themselves. And that's the beauty of having that big of a sample size for us to bet into this second half. That's why I love betting these second half season wins, because it even opens up some possible middles towards the end of the year. Like where we put ourselves in a really good position to hit both sides by hedging that last series, that last game. So yeah, these are good bets to place, man. If you have, if you're bankrolled properly and bet size correctly, it's always good to bet those futures that do have such a huge edge. Because again, we know in those futures, like winning divisions, that the hold is so high that if you're getting the most respected guys on the planet willing to bet into those kind of holds, then rest assured, probably some value to be had.
We got a quick question from YouTube Shorts. Shout out to everyone watching on YouTube Shorts from Money Meach. Question about the Orioles. I'm seeing the Orioles win total at 75.5. Good friends at BetOnline have this juice down to minus 130 on the under. Any strong takes on the Orioles, or is this a pass?
I'd go over at 75.5. I'm going over, especially if I'm getting plus money. At plus money, I think the over. My guy's got them right near 76.5, and like right there. So he has them actually going above that. Would make the over the favorite. But you got to respect the move, and that's why that's one of those teams that I didn't mess with, because I saw that movement. Got to respect it sometimes, because they're digging into injuries. I'm not getting as deep as they are. I'm looking at my guys' projections. The way I've done it for a really long time, that's helped me, turn a profit pretty much year in and year out with them. But there's some of those teams that, you see the next level handicapping where I see it going against my guys' projection and what I'm seeing. And then that's when I trust the market in letting me know that maybe there's injuries, tired arms, that kind of situation.
Just one last question. Anything from Summer League plays? That comes from Cheddar Bob. So if you got anything on Summer League, and then tell everyone what you have up for clients over.
Oh, wow. We have Summer League today, right? Yeah, we went perfect in those, man. Make sure you go to the free page. I'm putting a lot of them up for free. Now, when we have like 6 of them, I'm not going to put all 6 for free, but I'm putting like 2 of them, 1 or 2 of them every single day. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We went 5-0 in these yesterday. I wish we had Summer League every single day. Yeah, I swear to you. I wish there was nothing else but Summer League. Cancel the NFL season and give me Summer League all year. I'm good with it. I'm clicking in. I'm looking at the accounts, my brother. Unfortunately, we don't have – oh, wait, do we? No, the only thing that was in there was championship, the Open championship, the final score, the cut score, forgive me, the cut score to be 143.5 under. We went under 143.5 in the Open Championship for the cut score. So we'll see how that does.
Gotcha.
But nothing yet in NBA Summer League. Those tend to come out, an hour from now as the day progresses, and they just continue, man. I've actually even missed like 2 of them yesterday because they just fired like 5 minutes before game time, and I just didn't happen to be on. So I actually missed some of those that come in, but fortunately we did good overall anyway.
All right, you got your MLB futures pack up. Anything else?
Yep. The future package is up for Major League Baseball. Like I said, there's 9 bets in there right now, 6 season win totals, 2 yes or no playoffs, 3 yes or no playoffs, forgive me, and 1 team to win their division. I have the UFC package up there with a 5% play. Another 4% is coming out in the next 10 minutes. That'll be there. And finally, NFL college football season win totals and future package is up. I think there's about 4 bets or so already. I got my college season win totals yesterday. They sent me my sheet. I'll share you right now. But let me give it to you guys before you let me go. I know there's other guys waiting, but you're going to want to wait for this gold. My man sent me college football season win totals, okay? This guy just bets college football win totals. I help him get down. He bet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He bet 8 of them. I'm probably going to release 4 of them today to subscribers, the ones that he's double betting, the 2-unit bets for him. Here's the single units that I'm not, I bet them, but they're not strong enough to be premium but if you agree with them, then you should fire as premium. Vanderbilt over 4.5. He went Vanderbilt over 4.5, minus 140. Tulane under 8.5. UTSA over 7.5. And then Tulsa over 3.5 plus 135. So if you agree with Tulsa over, you agree with Vandy under, those are sharp. And another soft play that subscribers won't get because it just ain't, I don't have a strong opinion myself. Over 6.5 in Minnesota, minus 145. Under 6.5 Bowling Green, minus 165. So you're getting gold everywhere, brother. Gold everywhere. Hope you guys make money off of this.
Love it, Gianni. Thank you so much. Yep, we got to get going. Thank you so much. Can't wait to talk a little bit more UFC in depth tomorrow. We've got Nick Parsons coming up a little bit later, going to go over CFL. He's going for 3 straight CFL winners on this show. Kyle Anthony is going to join us. We're going to talk Holloway and Poirier, and Dave Mason is scheduled to join us. Let's go all around the world, give out a couple of free plays here. We're going to go to cricket. And this is great for all you live viewers. Starts at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Hampshire over Essex. It's a little juicy at minus 162. The league is the T20 Blast. Essex is 2-9 in this competition. Essex looking ahead to their game on Saturday versus Kent. Hampshire is going to want to win this game to go into the playoffs with a win. They lost their last one. Big bowling advantage, so take Hampshire. And I got to bring this up. Twins to win the series versus the Rockies. Minus 235. Dan, if I told you that the Rockies played 33 series in the first half, how many do you think they won out of 33?
33. Let's give them a gentleman's 5, Andy. How's that sounding?
2.
Jeez, I thought I was lowballing. Oh my God.
Think about it. All we had to do was make this bet for the entire first half of the season. We're retired. So I don't know. Who cares if it's minus 235? Who cares if it's minus 235? So I'm bringing up Twins to win the series versus the Rockies because that bet has been Absolute money. So there's your free plays for everybody today. Put together something special for the All-Star break just for you guys. Full season access to both NFL and college football all the way through the Super Bowl and national championship. This is our football early bird special. Don't wait. Lock this in. We all got futures that are kind of trickling out. We heard Gianni talk about season win totals. Teddy's got his out. We're going to be uploading ours later today. So you want to get these win totals locked in. So take advantage of this early bird special. And if you want, you can add baseball all the way through the World Series for just $99. That's less than $1 a day. So you get 3 sports, basically one spot, one price. Lock it in early. Don't wait until the day before the season starts. You want to take advantage of all these early plays. So take advantage of this All-Star break special, NFL and college football combo, and add MLB for under $1 per day. Well, let's bring on Nick Parsons. Let's talk a little CFL, man. Nick, been great in CFL. I see you're winning 5 in a row over at Sports Memo. On this show, you've given out 2 great winners. Let's make
loving the CFL this year.
Brother. Yeah. What's been going on with CFL in your mind? What are you seeing well in that sport?
Well, I'm Canadian for one, and when I used to live in Vancouver, I've been to dozens of BC Lions games in the past. Not for like the last decade though, living over here on Vancouver Island, but typically, Andy, I'm really into the CFL for the start right up until college football starts. And then usually I just want to get reminded when it's the Grey Cup again. But I'll probably have to keep playing this year. As you mentioned, I've been doing so well this year, 13-5 overall. I'm 5-0 the last 2 weeks. And back-to-back show winners.
All right. Let's talk about your free play for today. But first, tell everyone what you have going on at Sports Memo. We're still running some of these summer specials. You guys have a ton of them, a lot of great content over there. So tell us about that, and then we'll talk about Toronto and Montreal.
Well, I'm not sure if you've talked about it yet, but similar to over at WagerTalk, guys, over at Sports Memo, they now have flex picks. And so this is a really great option to try a bunch of different handicappers over at Sports Memo. You choose your handicapper for the day. You get all access to those picks. You can change your handicapper each day if you like, right up until the games go off. You can plan ahead or go day by day. And if you have a 30-day flex pass, you don't need to use it 30 days in a row. You can skip days. So the flex pass now over at Sports Memo, there's lots of new handicappers over there. The leaderboards are super competitive this year. $5 Wednesdays is another special going on. So that was yesterday. I had a 5% pick up yesterday for just $5. I'm now actually 37-14 with my 5% picks at Sports Memo, which leads Sports Memo since November of last year. And so that was a 5% pick for $5 on the Storm yesterday. And so they went on to cover in that revenge spot. $5 Wednesdays. And then finally, there's 50% off Fridays. So that's tomorrow. Same sort of thing as Wednesday. Every capper releases one 50% off package.
All right, let's talk Toronto and Montreal here. It's a pretty big number, -9.5. You're even seeing some -10s, and you're saying, I don't care. This Toronto team is fade material. Let's break this game down.
And I mean, they're defending Grey Cup champions, and it's been mainly because of, or almost completely because of injury. Now, this is the second of 3 meetings between these East Division rivals. They opened the season against each other in Montreal, and the Alouettes, they won that by a score of 28-10. Montreal won its first 3 games, but it enters now having lost 2 straight. 2 weeks ago, they fell 21-20 at home to the BC Lions, who are much improved on both sides of the ball. They got a lot healthier. But as far as the Argonauts, 1 week after notching their first win, which was a 29-18 victory at Ottawa in week 4, Nick Arbuckle, who is their backup quarterback, and the Argos, they collapsed 51-38 to Hamilton. But the Argos, they also had last week off as well. So both teams come into this one off of a bye. But I just don't think the extra time off here is going to help Toronto at all. In that first matchup, Toronto only managed 276 total yards of offense. The Alouettes didn't allow a first down until the last minute of the first quarter, and they didn't allow a touchdown until the fourth quarter. Arbuckle had a fumble and 2 interceptions in that one. Montreal quarterback Davis Alexander, he was 19 of 26 for 205 yards, 1 touchdown. He also had an interception, but he also ran 4 times for 50 yards. Now, the thing with Montreal here and those 2 losses is that Alexander hasn't even played since week 3 due to a hamstring injury, but he's 7-0 in his career as a starter for the Alouettes. And so I think that Alexander is going to have a big impact in this game, especially considering that Montreal is looking to avoid a 3-game slide as well. The Argonauts, they're second to last in the league and allowing 32.6 points per game. And so before his injury, Alexander had Montreal leading the CFL in points per game at 31 and offensive yards at 406.3. And so, yeah, it's a big number, as you say there, Andy, but I just don't think it's big enough. I'm going to roll with Montreal tonight.
Well, I'm certainly not going to doubt you, man. Let's go for 3 in a row. And once again, tell everyone about your hot streaks. Those are really, really incredible.
Yeah, also doing really well in the WNBA this year, guys. I finished 22-10 over the first half, so looking forward to the second half in that as well. Also gearing up for big college football and NFL. You mentioned the early bird specials that they got going on over there, guys. I'm also the #1 college football capper at Sports Memo since 2023. I already have a couple big 5% picks up in week 0, so go check that out at Sports Memo.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Nick. Appreciate it. Good luck and continued success in the in the CFL here. Dan, we just have Dave Mason hop on here. Dave Mason's going to join us. We're going to get his thoughts on one of the slower weeks of the year. But let's bring on Dave. Let's see if he can tell us if there's any sharp action going on today or this weekend. Dave, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. It's not one of the, I think it is the slowest week of the year, but it's one without a doubt. But there's always something to bet on. I mean, there's some good fights this weekend. I guess they take, they got a good UFC card and sharps there. Or what we got on the sharp stuff there? EJ -200, Judas -240, Holland -440 or better. Pretty chalky. Phillips +140 on Costa. +213. The main event, looks like we're gonna need Holloway. 64% of tickets are on Poirier, so that's just it's getting awesome early action, and that's gonna continue to pile in. That's a can't miss fight right there.
Yeah, I actually said I don't want to bet on it. I just want to be a fan.
Right.
for that one.
Yeah, I took a play in Holloway early when he was at plus money. That's one of those fights that I kind of like betting over the years. It's fights that I think is just a darn coin flip, and whoever I'm getting plus money on, I'm going to bet them. So I took him early on with that. Now Poirier's plus money, so I might just do that. I might just lock up a little small, scalp and sit back, and no matter which side wins, I win a little bit of money. Nothing great, but whatever. Enjoy it as a fan like you.
Yeah. Any action on season win totals in MLB for the second half? We were talking a little bit about some of them with Gianni. You taking any good action on those?
A little. I mean, we're taking some action, not a ton. Let me see what we got here. I haven't really looked at it, tell you the truth. I mean, I looked at it, but nothing too in depth. Like wise, it's hard for me to really gauge what's wise are here because it's all different prices. It's all different movements throughout the year. So. I mean, bets are coming in, but it's really hard for our system to determine the sharp bets and not, just because these sharp bets have been coming in all season. So it's tough for me to really gauge it. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. What are you taking any action on college football or NFL?
Well, when they open up, we take some, and then it gets really quiet until August. But yeah, I mean, we've taken some, absolutely. But like I said, they hit the screen. People bet it, especially some of the guys, not the sharpest of the sharp, but sharper types who see the value, who aren't worried about betting, waiting for the limits to be real high. Let me see what we've got here. Sharp stuff. Giants. +7, they're 6.5 now. Bengals, a little bit there, -5, -105. They're now a -5.5. Bucks, Pick'em. They're now -1. Pick'em -105. What else here? Bills that got hit -1. They're now -2. And Bears, I think. Let me click on that. Bears. Now they got hit by some sharp action, but the line hasn't. It went up, but it's gone back. As far as college, let me click on that. I mean, not a lot of sharp college. Nothing really. Here's something. Sorry, Arizona -11. That's 13.5 now. UCLA a little sharp now. That's UCLA is not sharp. That's the only one that has any kind of big quote unquote big for this early in the season sharp action.
All right. Well, you may be taking some sharp action on Power Slap. I gave out a free play on it yesterday.
Oh, did he?
I did. Yes, absolutely. Manuel Mooney's. Yes.
All right.
So put him in your parlays. He's facing a guy that's 1-2. It's not very good. So
what are your thoughts on Tommy Lishman? We took some sharp action there, +153 and +182 in your darts league.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I would be terrified of something like that in darts.
Okay.
Believe it or not, there's injuries. This is a real thing. Like one guy didn't tell anybody that he had shoulder surgery.
Hey, they pricked their fingers. They pricked their fingers or something. I mean,
no. One guy was so out of shape he pulled his back bending over to pick up a dart that he dropped. That's a real thing that happened. So you actually do have to monitor these situations. There was a guy, Peter Wright. Yeah, there was a guy, Peter Wright. He stopped drinking. And he became awful, and he was just a bet against, and it was darts. You're not really handicapping. You're handicapping the format, but you're also looking at a lot of things that are going on.
Yeah, alcoholism, what kind of beer they drink, the alcohol content in their favorite beer. I gotcha.
One guy came out and said he's like, the travel is killing me. So okay, we're betting against you. You're exhausted and jet lagged and all that stuff. So yes, there are ways that you can handicap darts. So
awesome.
Good stuff. All right, tell everyone where we can find Jet and what you have going on at betonline.ag.
At Dave Mason BOL on Twitter. Exciting news with the NFL season right around the corner. We're upping our guaranteed prize for our Survivor contest to $1 million. No rake. It was $500,000 last year with no rake, so I think we got it up to $600 and some thousand in entry fees. Everything goes to the winner. Winners. There's going to be a few ties probably. So $1 million this year. It's affordable to everyone. That's how we like to keep it. I know there's bigger ones out there dollar-wise, but this one's a 7-figure one, and you can enter for just $30. You can enter numerous times for a discount. Right now, we have a special early bird special. Buy 3 entries, you'll get a 4th one free. That will be added to your account in late August. So get on over to betonline.ag. Again, $30 to enter $1 million guaranteed Survivor contest at betonline.ag.
Well, don't you threaten me with a good time. That's got to be a weekly segment through the NFL season. Dan, I believe we're going to have to enter multiple entries for that one. Yeah, absolutely. Company expense, too. It's for the show. This comes out of the production budget. All right. All right, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Sir.
Enjoy the time
Appreciate
off.
you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Right. Have a good one. All right, guys, we're going to talk the Jaguars over under 7.5 on the season win total. We're going to talk the Snail Race Championship. But first, we got to talk to Kyle Anthony and get ready for UFC 318. Kyle, I can't think of a pay-per-view that was just so dependent on one fight on the actual main card. I mean, it's one fight and then the rest are kind of like, whatever. So
there's some good ones in there, but the one thing is the novelty belt of the BMF is a little like, it's not as exciting. I get it. I think Poirier wants to fight for a belt to end his career. We'll give him that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk it. It's Max Holloway. It's Dustin Poirier. It's Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. Generally, these don't go well, but I feel like it's a little bit different with Dustin. He's not exactly, he's not like losing all the time like a Tony Ferguson or something where it's like, Father Time has passed him. But Yeah, Holloway and Poirier, they have fought 2 times before, granted, ages ago. I wonder what your breakdown is if you're taking that into account. Who you got here on Holloway and Poirier?
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, that's pretty much, you look at this fight here, you've got 2 guys that have fought 2 times already. And a lot of times when especially we both like to, look back, look at past fights, look at what's kind of going on stylistically, all those things. And, these fights are a little too long ago. Dustin won back in 2012 by submission, 2019 by decision. So I'm kind of looking at this from the lens of a totally new fight. And when you're looking at really what both of these guys do well, first thing, this is really going to come down to Max's volume versus the power of Dustin Poirier. And I think that's really where this fight's going to be won or lost. And Max is a well-rounded guy, but he's just going to push that volume. And he has done that really consistently throughout his career. He's been able to come forward, throw big volume, pitter-patter the shots, have the footwork to get out of range, come back in range, and mix it up a little bit. And that has done very well for him overall because he's just nonstop combinations. And the one thing that I think he does better than Dustin Poirier is Dustin's kind of a throwback fighter if you really think about it. He's really a boxer. He's got power in his hands. He's going to move forward. He is durable. He is absolutely tough, and he's going to keep coming forward. But he doesn't throw kicks. You don't really see him really shoot for takedowns, or if he does, he's not that successful with it. And you look at Max, he's going to mix it up a lot better. He's got fantastic boxing, of course, but he mixes in those leg kicks, he mixes in the body kicks, and he has the combinations where he can really be a little more versatile than Dustin Poirier. And I think that's a big part of this particular fight here. Now, even more to your point, yes, this guy, you got Dustin at the point where he's a big fan favorite. He's a guy that, people love him, tons of wars he's been in. But, this is a retirement fight, and that is something I'm always looking to fade here. But again, it's the same thing you're kind of saying is that, I normally want to fade these guys because it looks like they've got 1 foot out the door, and that's kind of a situation where maybe the lines are really wide. Here you're getting, a fairly, split price here, and, obviously money's coming in on Max. But I think one of the other things here is the fact that he is on the wrong side of 35. He's 36 years old now, and we do know at these lower weight classes, absolutely skills start to decline. And, we even saw that recently with Calvin Kattar. As soon as things start to, you're getting a little bit older in these lower weight classes, you have a little bit more shelf life in the heavier weight classes overall. And I do think you're seeing Dustin start to slow down a little bit. Maybe that's what he's seeing as well in his own performances, but you are seeing combinations develop a little slower, his movements a little slower. He is coming in fantastic shape, so there is that caveat there. But I think that Max has really looked good, even though getting knocked out by Ilia Poirier, the pound for pound, number 1 guy on the planet. But he was really looked pretty good, was landing some nice shots, working the leg kicks, working at range. I thought he looked good up until getting knocked out. But even the Justin Gaethje fight, that's a fight where the masses kind of thought, hey, Gaethje's going to be able to move forward. He's going to be able to throw those big shots. Max can't handle it. And Max has really kind of, I think, built his frame up a lot better than some of these past times that he has fought in the higher divisions, years ago. And even in the fight against Gaethje, it was 181 significant strikes. He knocks him out in the 5th round. And I do like Max here. I mean, I agree with the line movement here. I think that Max, more in his prime, or at least closer to his prime here. And I think he can out-volume. It's going to be a heck of a fight, but I do like Max to get the job done.
All right, you like Holloway. I'm in agreement. I just if you fade fighters in the retirement fights over just consistently every single time, you've just cashed at a just unbelievably rate. I did it last week with Lauren Murphy, so it's like it doesn't matter what the juice is. So I'm with you 100% on that one. So let's talk Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori. They're going to fight in the octagon, not on a casino floor for a change, which is an amazing piece of social media video. These guys got into an actual fist fight at splitting tens at the blackjack table. I don't know what they were doing. But yeah, so who do you like here? Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori on the main card of UFC 318.
Yeah, I don't really know who won the first fight there at Hard Rock in Vegas, but it was a little bit of a scrap there. Not really anyone landed too clean, but we're going to see it on the cage on Saturday night. Now, odds-wise here, I do think this line is wide out the gate. I definitely feel like this line is wide. And I think that a lot of the things that Vettori does well can really counter some of the things that, Allen does well. And when you're looking at Vettori here, I mean, the guy's going to come forward. He's going to crash the pocket. The guy can take a brick to the face, keep coming forward. He is going to be pressuring. He is going to be relentless. And the one thing that he does well, which it's not really the sexiest kind of way to win, but he'll go out there and grind it out. He'll push you up against the fence. He'll control you. He'll positionally look to win. He'll just rinse and repeat. If he doesn't get the takedown, he's going to push you back up against the fence. He's going to march forward, and he's going to take those shots. And I think that type of style is very tough for someone like Brendan Allen. And Brendan Allen, I think, is a, well-rounded guy. I think that we've seen him, consistently get better. With his striking, I think we are seeing that. Obviously, he's high level on the ground, but it is pretty clear to me that, time and time again, we're seeing him slow down. First round, he can be pretty explosive. He's going to shoot for takedowns. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to move forward, but he can start to slow down. And the other part of it is the fact that, we've seen when the fight doesn't really go his way, or he can't really get, his game plan going, he can start to wilt. He can start to slow down. And those things start to really make this line look a little bit wider. He starts to make bad decisions. I think his fight IQ is a little suspect. I think that he's, made some very bad decisions in the cage, in the spur of the moment. And then also the durability. You're going to have the big durability advantage and the cardio advantage to Vettori. And you've got Allen, who I don't like the way he absorbs shots. I think that that's really where you see him to start to wilt. Not like Vettori, some elite level striker by any means, but at least he's going to be able to move forward and stay and keep that pressure on Allen. And, I do think he can move forward and kind of bully Allen. And again, I don't think this is going to be one of those fights where it's going to be, he's going to piece him up. It's going to be a grinder. He's going to push him up against the fence. And I think Allen 100% needs to get takedowns here. I don't think he wins this fight on the feet. He has to get those takedowns. If he can get that control time, and work it to the back, we know he's got a great rear naked choke. I think he could have some success. But I do think there's a little bit of an overreaction here on the Vettori side from his recent fight he had against Roman Dolidze, where it didn't look good for Vettori. He looked kind of uninterested. He didn't really do too much. He didn't adapt in that fight. And all Roman did was just throw overhands. I think you also got to remember that was a 2-year layoff for Vettori. I think he comes in here, really has momentum. I think he's really got a lot of motivation here to get the job done. We're talking a plus 180 number here. I think this line should be much closer. It's going to be one of those like split decisions. And I like the plus money here on this one.
All right, Kyle's in on the plus money against Vettori. Tell everyone what you have up at WagerTalk, and then we're going to play our usual game of Sell Me. What do you have up for this week's card?
Yeah, so I have a 5% play up right now. I do have 4 plays in there, and I actually do think this may be, normally I'm in the spot of 4 or 5 plays per card. This is going to probably be the most plays that I've had probably over the last 12 months. I'm looking at about 7 plays, have 4 in there now, including the 5%. But love the spot from a betting perspective, and let's get it done this Saturday.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's bring in Dan. Let's play Sell Me. If you're new to the show, first off, thanks for joining us. Here's how it works. Dan randomly picks a fight from the card. Then he assigns 1 fighter to Kyle and 1 to me, and we have to make the case for that fighter to win. We don't know what the fights are. We don't know who we're going to assign. So, Dan, what fight and fighters do you have for us?
Well, I have a high likelihood of having one that Kyle really likes since he has 1,000 plays on this card. So this is a good week for Kyle to be getting sold here. But guys, the one that stood out to me, and Kyle kind of referenced it there at the top, Kopylov and Costa. I'm wondering what you guys are thinking. This one is, at least a decently tight line. You're looking at around minus 220 if you're shopping around on the favorite, which is Kopylov. And for Costa, you can get plus 180 on the take back. I love the plus money thoughts that Kyle brings in. So I'm giving him Costa. Andy, you'll start us off here. Why is Kopylov? Why should he maybe even be higher of a favorite as he's laying around 220? What do you think of the favorite? It's time, gentlemen, to sell me.
All right, I'll go first. Well, this is all about fading Costa. You can't take him serious. He doesn't even take himself serious. Like, he shows up carrying too much muscle. His cardio is always an issue. He hasn't been the same since his war against Romero. That was back in 2019. He barely fights. And now you have Kopylov, who's ripped off a bunch of wins in a row. He's got a better ground game. His striking isn't quite as powerful, but he's going to have more volume on it. And the fact is, if you give me a guy that shows up with curly hair that isn't really kept that well, that's the sign of a guy who's ready for an ass kicking. And Costa's going to show up looking like a pretty boy. No. Give me the guy who's more worried about fighting than looking great at his fight. So give me Kopylov by decision.
Wow, Kyle, Andy's calling out the perm. I didn't know the perm was going to be a part here of the handicap. I mean, it's hard for you to make a case here when Andy starts off with this guy can't be taken seriously. So why can he be taken seriously? Kyle, let the folks know.
All right, so when you go to a car dealership, right? You walk in, you're looking around for the one that you want to buy. One, sticks out, it's shiny, it's looking good, it's polished nice, the rims are looking good, the wheels looking good, and then you get into the car and there's no steering wheel and the transmission's blown. That has actually been Paulo Costa. Really, he is all looks, no drive. The guy really has struggled to kind of have a reason to kind of go out there and fight. And now it sounds like over the last, few days, he is talking about really getting back to what he used to do. And he was an absolute monster when, to Andy's point, there was a point when he kind of did care, where he was really looking good, fighting out Asanya, knocking out guys, and just really had, a point where he was doing well. I just think he gets back to that. Kopylov is, a high-level kickboxer, but I think if you move forward on Kopylov, if you throw the big shots, move the overhands, he's very hittable also, Kopylov. I think Costa at this price here, I think is a dog or pass spot. And again, Kopylov does have really interesting hair, and I give him credit to it. It almost looks like Marab's hat, but without wearing the hat. But I do think that Costa is the side here at this plus money number. I think that he's going to really put it on and move forward and maybe even look for takedowns. But I like this plus 180 number here. And now we're seeing the line come in a little bit here on the Costa side, but I do like him here.
Who knows? You may have even gotten a free client play from Kyle Anthony. If you want to know, you got to check out the package he's got over at his page, wt.buzz/KA. Guys, I always love the sell me segment. Minus 220 is hard for me to bet here, Andy. But when Kyle led off his segment with, this guy does kind of suck on the inside, but on the outside, he looked good. Yeah.
Talk about it was a pass. It was a past tense kind of reference to the,
But the real decisions will be made by the folks down in the comments. Comment who you think, Kopylov or Costa. Leave your WagerTalk username. We'll pick one of you guys who's commenting below to win some free all access. But Kyle, always a pleasure, man. Always fun. Good luck this weekend. Hell of a card for you, man. Hope you cash.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you.
All right, thanks, guys. Hit the like button. Shout out to everyone yesterday. We had this fun bit about the Korean snail race. And people submitted their comments of names of the snails. And they were some of them were just fantastic. Escargot was great.
I was partial to Monty Python and the Holy Snail.
Monty Python and the Holy Snail was great. Escar got him. Just don't slug me, bro. Absolutely fantastic. We know it's the slowest time of year. So what's exciting was we actually got a hold of a little bit of the audio of the 2025 Korean Snail Race Championship.
Did you translate it, or is it Korean, Andy?
No, we got the English speaking version. So I think we have a little snippet. So I think we can play the 2025 Korean Snail Race Championship, this little audio.
Welcome to the 2025 Korean Snail Racing Championships, brought to you by Shell Gas Stations. The competitors will be competing in the annual 1 meter dash, where they will attempt to break the world record of 4 days, 13 hours, and 21 minutes. We had a chance to talk with fan favorite Turbo Slim. Here's what he had to say. Turbo, weather shapes up for fast conditions today. You've been working hard on your slime management, I understand. How do you take on this tough 1 meter dash?
Well, I'll run fast.
Turbo Slim, everyone. The snails have taken their position. Here comes the start. Nobody's moving. They're just feeling each other out. Oh, Snail McStaley leaps ahead for a dominant 1 millimeter lead. Not much going on. All right, let's go to the first of what will be many commercial breaks. Thanks for joining us, folks.
I love how the announcer in no way sounded exactly like Andy Lang. That was my favorite. You must have a Korean doppelganger who is it was well done. Well done.
Yeah, that's how slow it is this time of year. You're getting a Korean snail racing.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you know. All right, we wrapped up our lacrosse handicaps and cricket handicaps for the week. Now I have some time. Let me do some snail racing. That was
yes. All right.
Well done.
All right. Yeah. By the way, a lot of live betting opportunities. The snails just sit there, so you can live bet quite a bit. All right, let's go over the Jaguars. Their season win total is 7.5. Interesting team here, Dan. I follow them closely. I'm in Indianapolis, so let's take a look. I mean, they were just terrible last year. 28th in defensive line and 26th in offensive line rating coming into this year. So they have a lot of improvements, but they did make a lot of offseason moves. Eric Murray, the safety, Jordan Lewis, cornerback. They added a center, a guard, 3 tackles, and then of course they drafted Hunter, Tootin, and to me, biggest thing is this change in coaching. I mean, you could make the case that Jags had the worst coaching situation.
Yeah.
Like complete definition of a lame duck. But then you still got questions about Trevor Lawrence. I'll go over the schedule here. Panthers at Bengals, Texans at 49ers, Chiefs, Seahawks, Rams. That's overseas game. Bye. Raiders at Texans, Chargers at Cardinals, at Titans, Colts, Jets, at Broncos, at Colts, Titans. I'm interested where you're going with this Jaguar. I mean, this team was 4-13 last year. So for them to put it at 7.5, they expect this team to get a lot better with not a lot of new additions to the roster. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me, Andy, this schedule. I mean, top 10 in ease of strength of schedule here to start the year. And that back end is just so that what would scare me about the under here for the Jaguars is the back end of that schedule. If this team does kind of figure it out under a new head coach, and honestly, Andy, let's be frank, under an entire new regime, you have a new GM, a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, and a new defensive coordinator. The thing that surprised me most about this Jacksonville team is all of those positions that I just mentioned, Andy. Not only are they new to Jacksonville, they're new to the position, right? You have a new first year head coach, GM, OC, and DC. So, we talked about it yesterday with the Raiders is, when you have a whole entire new regime, there's nothing to really draw on. I mean, there's truly nothing to draw on other than the fact this team was awful last year. And if you look at how awful they were, Andy, and dive in a little bit, they were 2-9 in 1-score games last season. So it's easy to say this team was abhorrent, right? But they were in 1-score games. And in the NFL, that ends up kind of being a coin flip in so many different ways. So if that even regresses to the mean a little bit, you're looking at 4 wins picked up right around there. So I think the best way to bet Jacksonville would be, does this team buy in to the new regime? You're going to know that within 3 to 4 weeks, right? And the schedule or the in-season win total isn't going to change that much drastically. If anything, if they stumble out of the gate, you might get a 6.5 here. So I would like towards the over on Jacksonville at 7.5. I'd like to wait here a little bit, see what we see about this team. Does Travis Hunter make that much of a difference? Can the defense be a little bit better than the near 6 yards per play they allowed last year? Schedule sets up nicely for them, but that back end, Andy, you could get 5 straight wins on the back end of this schedule. So for me, it's ugly, and I know my man Sean's going to be like, Dan only bets the over, but the only way I could look for the Jacksonville Jaguars is looking towards the over here because it couldn't be any worse than last year.
I really hate trying to put my faith in bad organizations and owners.
Yes, me too.
Never forget this.
That's why I'm not betting this.
Yeah, this is the team that made Trevor Lawrence walk off the field limping, being helped by a security guard instead of bringing out a cart. Same one. I wanted to take the under until I looked at the schedule, and you are so right. I mean, Titans, Colts, Jets, at Broncos, at Colts, Titans. And it works out perfect because, okay, you're playing at Bengals, you're playing at 49ers, you get the Chiefs in the first part. So you're probably going to lose those games anyway. So it gives the team a chance to gel and figure it out. I'm with you. I think the best way to do this, though, is to wait till after week 5 or 6 and then try and do an in-season win total because I think they're going to lose. Bengals, probably one of those Texans, 49ers, and then Chiefs, and then the sky is falling. Yeah, after that bye week, man, you got at Raiders, Cardinals, Titans, and Colts twice. So I'm with you. It's an over on this one purely because of the schedule. Now you're betting on Trevor Lawrence to stay healthy, which is terrifying. So, yeah, we'll put the Jaguars down as an over 7.5. And here are the update. We're running out of teams here, so we're almost wrapping up. Let us know in the comments section if you like the Jaguars. Over or under 7.5. Can't say it's going to make the official client list, but I will say that's where we lean. So, all right, great show for Thursday. Make sure you join us tomorrow. MLB is back. We're going to get a little bit more into UFC. It's PFL week, so we're going to talk a little Dakota Ditcheva. Don't forget to take advantage of that early bird special with football, but tomorrow we get you ready for the weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Good luck on your bets, and take care.